We're back for our daily NBA best bets here on Saturday, January 24th. We've got 7 games today, I believe, in the association, which 3 of them are on a triple header on ABC. That is Knicks, Sixers, Warriors, Timberwolves, and Luka's second return to Dallas, Texas, obviously taking on the Mavericks. And we're going to have a best bet in each one of those ABC games, alongside, obviously, 2 other games on the NBA slate today. Now, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA best bets here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our college basketball best bets. Again, that's linked in the description down below, so go make sure to check that out if you have not yet, along with our NFL championship predictions, obviously with the AFC and NFC championship game, Patriots, Broncos, Rams versus Seahawks. We've got best bets and predictions on the channel, so go make sure to check that out, alongside on Greedo Plays MMA, because today is UFC 324, Gagey versus Pimlet, the first ever UFC on Paramount card. We've got predictions and best bets over on Greedo Plays MMA, so go subscribe over there on Greedo Plays MMA and go check out our UFC 324 content as well. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets, kicking things off with the first of that triple header on ABC. We're going to gloss over, we're going to skip, I guess, that Wizards-Hornets game at 9 a.m. I got nothing, so we're going to kick things off instead with the Sixers and the New York Knicks, and our first best bet's going to be money line for the 76ers. I'm taking Philly at home. Guys, I don't trust the New York Knicks. Just because the Knicks went out and beat the Nets does not move me at all. They're going right back on the road, and I think they're going to lose. Guys, the East as a whole is just an absolute cluster. It just is. The East is a mess right now. The Detroit Pistons are currently 32-11. They're the number 1 team in the conference, and nobody actually believes the Pistons are going to the NBA Finals. They just played Houston at home, and the Rockets went into Detroit yesterday and beat the Detroit Pistons. Then you got the Boston Celtics, who we're going to talk about later on, so I won't talk about them too much right now. Toronto's in 3rd, New York's in 4th, Cleveland's in 5th, the Sixers are in 6th, and then everything is normal again, 7 through 10 like it is every single year. Magic, Heat, Bulls, Hawks. And with Giannis going out, that sucks, Giannis being injured. We know the Bucks aren't going to be in the play, and maybe Charlotte, but it'll likely be the same 4 as it is every year. Magic, Heat, Bulls, Hawks. Everything is right again. Anyways, we've got currently the 6th seed in the East taking on the 4th seed in the East as Rivals Week concludes, I believe, today. And today, actually, the Rivals games actually make sense, okay? There's only one Rivals game that's on the schedule today that I do not understand. Well, I kind of get it, actually. No, I don't. I don't understand what the last one we're going to talk about is. But 4 of the Rivals games today actually make sense. And of course, we're talking about the Knicks and the 76ers. Obviously, there is a very long history between these 2 teams. Well, yeah, there is. But obviously, these 2 teams met in the postseason a couple years ago, obviously, with New York winning. Anyways, Knicks versus 76ers. I'm going with Philly at home, guys. We're not going to forget about the fact the Knicks lost 4 straight games. We're not going to forget about that loss in Sacramento. We're not going to forget about the loss at Golden State, the 2 games they just lost at home to Phoenix and Dallas, just because they blew out the Nets and the Nets didn't show up. I don't care, okay? Yeah, oh, well, the Knicks, they had their players-only meeting at Jalen Brunson's house. Oh, wow, I don't care. I could care less. They beat the Nets. The Nets are good. They're a sneaky team. I think in the grand scheme of things, at least for a New York team, a Knicks team that's supposed to be a playoff team, and they are a playoff team, a team that's supposed to be contending for an Eastern Conference championship, I don't care that you beat Brooklyn. Karl-Anthony Towns tonight is questionable for the Knicks. I would argue, I believe the Sixers can beat this team in a 7-game series. And is this the year where Joel Embiid finally makes an Eastern Conference Finals? It may be, man. With how wide open this thing is, I would not be shocked if this is finally his year that he actually goes somewhere in the Eastern Conference. I know, again, it's just not, it's not just Embiid's team anymore because of the way Tyrese Maxey's been playing this year, and Tyrese Maxey's playing on, with an all, or in an all, I guess at an all NBA level this year. Philly currently the 6th seed. I don't think they're going to fall back in the play-in. If the playoffs started today, it would be Toronto versus Philly and New York versus Cleveland. Again, I don't know how Knicks Cavs goes, but I'll tell you, I think everyone's picking Philadelphia to beat Toronto. I am, at least, right? It feels like this may actually be the Sixers' year to go to the Eastern Conference Finals because, of course, Embiid's never been there. Well, if they match up with Boston in the second round, they're not winning. Anyways, though, the Sixers, they are a good team, man. And if they get healthy, which they kind of are right now, they are dangerous. The one exception I will say is Jared McCain, who is struggling in the G League right now. And it absolutely sucks to see. I need him to get traded at the deadline to a team that can actually kind of develop him at least, or a team that, is going to give him minutes, not in the G League. But anyways, You look at the way this team's been playing, despite Jared McCain, obviously, who was a Rookie of the Year contender prior to his injury last year. Tyrese Maxey's balling. Edgecombe's been, massive this year. Kelly Oubre's been good. PG and Embiid are, day-to-day, always it feels like, but both of those guys are playing tonight. They're both probable. And when Joel Embiid actually plays, the guy's very good still, obviously. Joel Embiid in his last 3 games has posted 30-plus points. How about Joel playing 46 minutes against the Rockets on Thursday, and he's going to play again tonight? I think Embiid is slowly coming back, man. Again, he's never been gone, but in terms of straight minutes, production's been down a little bit this year because of what Maxey has done and the fact that Embiid just hasn't been able to play too many minutes. He hasn't played 60-plus games since 2022, my goodness. I think, again, we're slowly getting back on that right track with Embiid. He's only played 24 games this year, obviously, but that's more than he did last season. And if he plays 16 more games this regular season, he'll play more than he did in 2023, 2024. I think Philly wins this game, man. The Knicks, there's still so many flaws with this team. Still, their bench is not great. I know, again, they actually use their bench now, but the guys actually playing off their bench aren't that good. Jalen Brunson's been okay. He's had his tough nights recently. I'm not sold on anything the Knicks do. I think Philadelphia is the better team. Philadelphia is at home, and I don't trust a single thing the New York Knicks are doing currently. Maybe they try to move some pieces at the deadline. Maybe they try to get a Giannis, which, again, that's another talking point we need to go over. Giannis is getting traded now. The Bucks cannot stay afloat even for a play-in spot now. The Bulls and the Hawks will run away from them at this point. The Bucks will not be able to stay afloat without Giannis for 4 to 6 weeks. I think he's played his final game as a Milwaukee Buck. Where does he go, though? And we went over this yesterday. What team can trade for him? Unless OKC, who did lose to Indiana yesterday, which was shocking, hits the panic button, I don't know who does it. Maybe it actually might be OKC, because they have the pieces where they can 100% pull the trigger. All they'd have to do would be convince him to stay. I don't know, and re-sign. We shall see. I'm going to be going with Philly, though, to kick off the day. Next up, we move on to our second spread, or second of the doubleheader, I guess we should say, Golden State and Minnesota. We're going to do this. The video is going to be 3 money lines and spreads, and then 2 player props to close. Okay. Second half of the ABC doubleheader, or tripleheader, as the Minnesota Timberwolves are hosting the Golden State Warriors. 2 teams that I think are going to continue to play poor basketball. Obviously, 2 teams that have been cold going into this one, especially Minnesota. The reason the Warriors are cold, obviously, is because of the Jimmy Butler injury, and now they are just adapting to play without Jimmy Butler. But Golden State going on the road to take on Minnesota. I'm going to take the Warriors to cover 6 points. Why? The Timberwolves shouldn't be trusted in covering against anybody right now. A Minnesota team that has now lost 4 consecutive games on the road in Houston, on the road in San Antonio, on the road in Utah. They return home to Minnesota to take on the Chicago Bulls, and they lose by 5 points to Chicago on their own home court. Minnesota is now only 9 games over 500, which currently does put them in a play-in spot, yes, behind both the Los Angeles Lakers and the Phoenix Suns. And now the Timberwolves are taking on the Warriors. Golden State, I know, has lost back-to-back games since the Jimmy Butler injury. They lose to Toronto at home. They go to Dallas and lose to Cooper Flagg and the Dallas Mavericks. And now they have back-to-back games in Minnesota, as they're going to play tonight, and they will play yet again on Monday night in Minnesota, because, again, who makes these schedules? I don't know. I'm very concerned about Golden State. I've continued to be I was worried about Golden State prior to the Jimmy Butler injury. Now with it actually happening, and I know, again, we've been saying Jimmy Butler's been posting, horrible numbers this season. It's been the worst year he's had in a very long time because, well, he's getting older and just things aren't going the way that they're supposed to be going this year in San Francisco. And now, again, we're saying, oh, he's only scoring 18 points per game. Yeah, now that's gone. He wasn't great, but now, who else scores? Actually, Jimmy did close the year averaging exactly 20 points per game. But now when you look at the entire spread of things, okay, well, Curry averages 28. And then Podziemski is now your second leading scorer with 12 a night. Kuminga is your next leading scorer with 12, but Kuminga A is injured now after he got hurt after your turn to the lineup for the Toronto and Dallas games. Got hurt in the Dallas game, had 10 points in 9 minutes, but then got injured. Obviously, had that situation where he forced that child out of its seat. Obviously, again, there was nothing serious, but obviously Kuminga needed to sit down, so he's like, hey, get up. And Kuminga sat down courtside for a minute, but Kuminga's out for this game. Obviously, we still expect him to be traded because the Warriors hate him. Steve Kerr hates him. I think Draymond Green hates him, but whatever. No Kuminga tonight, who, by the way, is your third leading scorer now. D'Anthony Melton's now tonight specifically, D'Anthony Melton's your third leading scorer behind Curry and Podziemski. And then it's Moses Moody. And then Draymond Green, who doesn't average more than 9 points per game. Oh my goodness. This is really bad, man. It is bad. But look at the way Minnesota's playing. Minnesota's been awful. The Warriors, guys, Steph just needs to score. And I believe that's what's going to happen tonight. I can't guarantee you much other than the fact that Steph Curry is going to score the basketball tonight. But I believe Steph alone can keep this team in the game. Line's been moved to 6.5. So actually, let's change this. We have plus 6.5 on Golden State. Plus 6 is an old line at this point now. Golden State, one time they played Minnesota this year, lost. It was in Minnesota. It was a weird game where Curry down the stretch missed a clutch free throw, which never happens. But the Timberwolves, without Anthony Edwards in December, actually did beat the Golden State Warriors. I believe the Warriors played a competitive enough game tonight. Draymond Green did not play that last game between Golden State and Minnesota, and obviously the history between him and Rudy Gobert is a thing, and the negative momentum the Minnesota Timberwolves have compiled over the last 4 games is not encouraging. Losing at home to the Chicago Bulls and losing in Utah to the Jazz are just horrible signs. I mean, that game against Chicago, it is competitive throughout for the most part, but again, the Timberwolves are in control of that game. The Bulls have their moments, the Bulls go on their runs, but ultimately through 3.5 quarters, the Minnesota Timberwolves are winning the basketball game. And it's just a matter of, okay, how do they put this game away, right? They're the ones in control. They, are maintaining a pace. And then at the very end, the Bulls come through. But again, that's what happens when you just let a team hang around. A team like Chicago, too, who can score and can just stay in games like that. That's a problem. I think Golden State will be able to just hang around tonight. I am concerned about the scoring beyond Steph. In that game against the Mavs, Steph scores 38. DeAnthony Melton scores 22. The only 10-plus scorer is Jonathan Kuminga, 10 points in 9 minutes. Other than, again, Melton and Curry, the only player who plays the entire game who scores 9 points is Podziemski, who goes 4 for 13 on 0 for 4 from the three-point line. I'm a little concerned, I cannot lie, but expect Steph Curry to be Steph Curry. He's still a phenomenal player. He's still one of the best players in basketball. Obviously, an all-star game starter this year for the Western Conference / USA team, too. I don't know. Whatever. It's both, I guess. I don't know. Expect the Warriors to keep it close just because of the way how piss-poor, horrible the Timberwolves have been. Again, I don't think the Warriors are playing good basketball either. I think they're both bad. But with 2 bad teams, I'm going to take the team that's getting points. So I'm going to go plus 6.5 for Golden State on the road in Minneapolis against the Minnesota Timberwolves. On to our third best bet of the video. Again, we are going to start the video with 3 money lines and spreads, and then we're going to end with player props. So here we go. Let's go to Chicago, Illinois. Derrick Rose's jersey is being retired in Chicago, Illinois for the Bulls. Second night of a back-to-back for Boston. They just played double overtimes last night, and I'm still taking the Boston Celtics. I am. I'm going to still take Boston. Massive letdown spot for Chicago, in my opinion. I don't know, and I've been the biggest, advocate for the Bulls this season. If you've watched the channel, you know how high I am on Chicago. I have a feeling they're just not going to live up to the expectation tonight. I mean, this is the biggest game that the Bulls have had in the regular season in a very long time. You're retiring Derrick Rose's jersey. They're doing a big, ceremony. I don't know if it's at halftime or before the game, but I mean, the cheapest ticket to get in the building at the United Center tonight is $250. $250 to get into a regular season game. For reference, I mean, when the Lakers usually the most expensive, I'm not even glazing LeBron and the Lakers here, but like the most expensive ticket for any team in the league is the Lakers, always. Boston's expensive, the Knicks are expensive, but it's always the Lakers. When the Bulls, right? They host every team in the league. The most expensive ticket's always the Lakers. The Lakers come to Chicago on Monday night. That ticket's $80. Tonight for Derrick Rose jersey retirement, I'm sure the Celtics help too, but it's really, again, just because of Derrick Rose, $250 to get into the United Center tonight. For reference, Luka's returning to Dallas for the second time tonight. The ticket's $40 to get in the building in Dallas tonight on a Saturday night. Yeah. So people care about this game. There's going to be a lot of anticipation. There are going to be a lot of people who are just going to this game because of Derrick Rose. And there are going to be Bulls fans who have been somewhat checked out since Derrick Rose and know that the team has been directionless since, even though there is a vision now, I'm not going to lie, and there is a future, Kobe White and Josh Giddey. But anyways, there's going to be a lot more attention in the Bulls tonight from some of the older fans who have not been watching or at least paying as close attention to the team since the Derrick Rose, obviously, exit, about a decade ago? Over a decade ago now. My goodness, right? About a decade ago, Derrick Rose left. I think. Was it 2015? Because he went to the Knicks right after. So it was 2016. Okay, exactly a decade now since Derrick Rose left. Okay, regardless, the only time I ever got to watch Derrick Rose in person, he was a Memphis Grizzly. Anyways, Chicago going to Boston, or Boston going to Chicago. There's a lot of expectation for the Bulls tonight. I think they're going to let everyone down. I know that might not be a popular choice, especially for someone, again, myself, who's picked the Bulls all year long. I've been campaigning for this team all year long. Chicago is coming off three straight victories over the Nets, Clippers, and going to Minnesota and beating the Minnesota Timberwolves. Kobe White has been phenomenal in their last 3 games. Vucci Main's playing good basketball, and Josh Giddey likely to play his second game back from injury, as Giddey is probable tonight after playing 26 minutes and scoring 21 and just going 21-6-5 against Minnesota on Thursday night at the Target Center. Yet, I'm still taking Boston, even though they're on the second night of a back-to-back. I just think the Celtics crashed the party tonight. Guys, Boston is finding ways to win. And Boston, if you ever get Boston at close to even money, we absolutely take it. Again, the team that is going to win the Eastern Conference. Okay, each day, I know the Celtics haven't played the hottest of basketball, and yes, they just took the Brooklyn Nets into double overtime last night, but again, we'll get to that in a second. The Celtics, I still keep gaining confidence in the fact that the Boston Celtics will win the Eastern Conference this season. They are now the favorites to win the East. And when I told you to bet on them, they were, I believe, either 3rd or 4th in the East. It looks like Tatum is coming back. It's been iffy. It looks like Tatum is coming back to the lineup and coming back to the team, I believe, within the next month. Oh, man. Tatum's coming back. The Celtics are the 2 seed. And that game last night in Brooklyn, I thought the game was over, personally. I'll be honest, I have a lot of basketball to watch. I wasn't watching this game live, but I was tracking it. And I did watch double overtime where the Celtics pulled away because I didn't think the game was going to get to double overtime. But anyways, when it was Nolan Traore hit the free throw line and he made his first free throw, I just kind of stopped tracking it until I saw 5 minutes later, oh crap, this game's in double overtime. And I was at the Sharks game last night. But I was like, oh crap, let me put this on while I'm watching Macklin Celebrini be the best player in the NHL. Give him the heart this year. Anyways, Nolan Traore misses the second free throw to put Brooklyn. So the second free throw would have ended the game. There's 2 seconds left. Brooklyn's up by 3. Traore misses the second free throw. Celtics call timeout. And for some reason, Baylor Shireman with a great find. The Nets leave Hugo Gonzalez wide open in the corner. There's nobody on him. They somehow get lost looking at Peyton Pritchard, looking at Jaylen Brown, and they leave Hugo Gonzalez wide open in the corner. Bang, he hits the 3. Boston ties the game at 118 going into the second overtime, and the Celtics eventually pull away in that second overtime. A gutsy effort against a team I know who just laid a massive egg going to the Garden and playing the Knicks the other day, but a gutsy victory, 32 points out of Peyton Pritchard, 27 points out of Jaylen Brown, and that big-time 3 by Hugo Gonzalez. Couldn't have asked for a bigger shot at that moment. Boston continues to find ways to win, and that's just their thing right now. They're finding ways. That's all it is. They're finding ways. I have a lot of confidence in the team. It appears everyone's playing, okay? And I will say this. Derek White's back tonight. Did not play yesterday due to rest. He is back today. We'll see. Again, Jaylen Brown, Payne Pritchard, looks like they're playing. If Jaylen Brown doesn't play, I'd hold off. If Pritchard doesn't play, I think Pritchard will play. But if Pritchard gets held out, whatever. Derek White's coming back. As long as Jaylen Brown plays, we are absolutely on Boston tonight. Again, we just got to make sure Jaylen Brown actually goes. But as long as he does, which I am expecting Jaylen Brown to do so, I'm taking the Boston Celtics to crash the party tonight in Chicago. Again, guys, stylistically, the Celtics just do what the Bulls do, but better. They play better defense, they shoot better than Chicago does, and they play up-tempo better than Chicago does too. It's the nightmare matchup for the Bulls because the Celtics are just the better version of the Bulls. I'm going Boston. Give me the Celtics on the road. I really like the Bulls a lot. I'm hoping the Bulls win the play-in this season. I would love to see that team get a shot to play the Pistons in the first round. Absolutely. I really want to see that. I think they can. They're not going to beat Detroit, but I think they can take a game or 2 off of Detroit. Don't get me wrong. But tonight I have to go with the Boston Celtics. Going into the United Center on a night in which the Bulls are retiring Derrick Rose's number, I think the Bulls let some people down tonight. I'm going to go Boston going on the road and taking down the Bulls, minus 115 for the Celtics. On to now the first of our 2 player props back-to-back. You know we had to do it. This is not just an automatic, Lakers playing, got to get Luka. Let's realize the circumstances around tonight, and let's realize who the player is and where he's playing. Luka Doncic in Dallas absolutely will score 33 points. This is something that will continue to haunt the Mavericks for the rest of Luka's career. I know Nico Harrison's been fired. That doesn't matter. Luka is going to stick it to Dallas every single time he plays in this building for the rest of his career. Doesn't matter where he's at. Well, he's going to be a Laker. But it doesn't matter at what point of his career he's at. He's always going to walk into Dallas with a chip on his shoulder. 33 points is an understatement. I believe we're getting 40 tonight out of Doncic, a player who averages 34 points per game this season. Last time he was in Dallas, second to last regular season game last year for Doncic, 45 points against the Mavs, the best game arguably he's played so far as a Laker. 45 points in 38 minutes on 7 for 10 from beyond the arc. You're playing a Dallas team who randomly, by the way, is getting Daniel Gafford back today. That's random. He hasn't played in, 8 games, is it? Something like that. So Kawhi doesn't play for 4 straight games, comes back for the Lakers. 3 straight games, comes back for the Lakers. Herb Jones doesn't play for 8 games, comes back for 1 game against the Lakers, and has not played since January 6th, I believe it is. But okay, that makes sense, because, just coming back just to the Lakers. Gafford hasn't played in a very long time. He hasn't played in weeks. And, of course, he returns for the Lakers game. Because, of course, I mean, seriously, it started as a joke that everyone just comes back for Lakers games. Oh, no, it's real. I'm surprised Anthony Davis isn't returning tonight. Anyways, that's a big factor, though. The Mavs don't have AD. And again, we've known that, obviously. Davis has been out. But I just don't think Dallas is able to hold the Lakers defensively in this game. And obviously, we're looking at Luka. Again, this is just one of these games where you can break this game down stylistically and say, look at the shots that Luka takes per game. Look at how Dallas plays defensively. This one is as simple as Luka Doncic is playing in Dallas, and he's not losing in this building. On top of that, he's going to score as many points as possible. And Luka, this is like 2K, but Doncic is going to get plus 10 to every attribute tonight playing in Dallas again. It's that simple. I mean, Luka still has this game circled on his calendar every single year. Well, hell, it's only the second time he's gone and played in Dallas since the trade. This is something that will continue to be circled for Luka for the rest of his career. I believe they do go back to Dallas again this year. They're going to go back to Dallas on April 5th, but it's still only the second time Doncic has played Dallas since the trade. Again, no Nico Harris in the building this time around, but still the fans, hate their ownership or hate, the front office. And I know, again, Harrison is gone, but the fans are still pissed off about the Doncic trade for good reason. Again, Anthony Davis has played 20 games as a Maverick, and Luka, although his team may not be that great, is still putting up great numbers. Now, I didn't love the performance last game for Doncic. The LeBron unit gets the Lakers back in the game. They cut it to 2. Luka comes back in at the end of the game. Even though he hit big shots early in the game, Luka played a horrid last 5 minutes. How about that opportunity at the end of the game where Jared Vanderbilt, perfect steal, saves the ball. Luka's got a wide open 3, or he's got LeBron down low, LeBron on a dunk. Nope, Doncic has a wide open 3, and he passes it up, kicks out, I believe it was to Rui or to Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart's like, dude, shoot the ball. And Doncic takes it, step back, contested 3, misses, game over. Game was likely already over anyway, but it was a 5-point game, or 6-point game, I believe it was. Could have cut it to 3 with 50 seconds left, and Doncic did that. All right, pal. Luka's been pretty bad from beyond the arc last 2 games. How about 3 for 13 against the Clippers, and how about 3 for 9 against the Nuggets? He'll always hit some big threes, obviously, and he'll let you know when he does it. But I don't know. He hasn't played great recently. You can throw that all out the window, though. He's playing the Mavs. And even in these games where I'm saying, he's not shooting that well. Yeah, how about 32 points against the Clippers and 38 points against the Denver Nuggets? Yeah, he still scores. Now, the LeBron situation. I'll very briefly go over that. I think LeBron James is done in LA very soon. Obviously, you don't need to hear me say that. Shams has already said it himself that this is a relationship coming to an end, whether that be at the end of this season, at the end of next season, or that's kind of it. Either the options are LeBron retires this season, LeBron plays 1 more year in Los Angeles, or he plays 1 more year somewhere else. Regardless, LeBron's probably not playing one. LeBron's on his second to last season. He could be back with the Lakers next year, but that would be it after. Okay, my guess is LeBron's playing in Cleveland next year. I don't know how that fits the Cavs. I don't know how that works for the Cavs, because then what, do you bump DeAndre Hunter to the bench officially again? I don't know what that does for them. But if LeBron wants it, the Cavs are going to say, okay, we don't care about winning cha-ching. Yeah, okay, we're going to make some money. I'm going to completely ignore LeBron to San Antonio. I'm going to ignore LeBron to Golden State. That does not make sense. Knowing LeBron James, he's either playing next year in Los Angeles or he's playing for the Cavaliers. There's no other team. Miami, no. It's going to be Lakers or Cavs or retirement. My guess is Cleveland next year for the final ride. That's it. Apparently, he's meeting with Jeannie Buss. That's interesting. Again, I just don't think this is salvageable at this point. I don't think LeBron's really content on being here anymore. On top, they drafted his son. They brought in JJ and whatever. Again, the Lakers haven't done Bron great, I will say. But at the same time, too, I mean, they kind of need to get the Luka core started. And I'm just going to put this out there. Yeah, the Lakers are going to be trying to get Giannis Antetokounmpo when he hits free agency. They can't do that without LeBron gone. So I'm just going to put that out there. I know, again, Giannis is, a year away from that. But when Giannis hits free agency, the Lakers are absolutely going to go all in to get Giannis. He's just a younger version of Braun, obviously, who can't shoot the three. But anyways, like, they are going to, pursue Giannis big time. And obviously, I think the Lakers are going to do everything imaginable to get Antetokounmpo. I think Antetokounmpo's going to want to play in LA. They need LeBron kind of gone for that. And I think the Luka championship window really starts once they get that big name free agent, likely in the offseason of 2027. So just putting that out there. I think Doncic is going to score a lot tonight. We'll have plenty of other games to talk about the Lakers. We are close to unbanning Lakers money line because Austin Reeves is coming back soon, and then we can fully talk about what the Lakers have going forward. Anyways, tonight I'm going to go Luka Doncic over 32.5 points. It's as simple as he's playing Dallas. He's going to stick it to the Mavs one more time. Over 32.5 for Luka Doncic. Final best bet of the video, we just went from, an all-time great player and the second best scorer, second best player in the NBA to Cody Williams. Guy who's the second best player in his own household. Cody Williams over 6.5 points tonight. I know this is kind of very random considering I just went from Luka Doncic returning to Dallas for the second time, and now here we are with Cody Williams at home. I said earlier about I get every one of these rivalry games. They all make sense, right? I mean, Bulls, Celtics, I get it. Warriors, Timberwolves, I get it. Knicks, Sixers, yes. Mavs, Lakers, obviously. Luka, Heat, Jazz. Guys, am I missing something? I might be missing something, I'll be honest with you. I might not be thinking of something in the 1990s right now. But off the top of my head, I can't think of anything in the 1990s. But anyways, and obviously nothing recently. There's no, 2010s Heat-Jazz rivalry. So anyways, the Jazz and the Heat are playing tonight. Karl Malone and Alonzo Mourning, was that a thing? I guess it was. I believe it was. I think it was a thing. It might have been a thing. I'll be honest, I wasn't alive for that. So I don't know. Or I wasn't watching basketball for that. So that might have been a thing. That's not something, though, I think of NBA rivalries. I still don't think that was much of a thing, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think that was a thing at all. It might have been. I really don't think that was a thing. Did they, fight once? No, that was the Knicks and the Heat. Yeah, I don't think that was Mourning and Ewing. Yeah, I don't think I don't think Malone and Mourning had beef. Anyways, I spent too much time on that. Jazz Heat. I'm taking Cody Williams tonight over 6.5 points. Does this have anything to do with the rivalry? Hell no. Cody Williams' last 5 games has gone over this line. It's as simple as that. The Jazz have been forced to play Cody Williams big minutes because they kind of remembered, oh, wait, we used the 10th overall pick on this guy. Why did we? I don't know. Guys, I watched Colorado play in the NCAA tournament that year. Cody Williams' only year at Colorado, his freshman season. I'll tell you what, I watched Colorado play that year, and I knew Cody Williams was going to be a top pick. I didn't know he was going to be top 10. I thought he was going to be a first-round pick. I went into that game thinking, okay, I'm going to watch Cody Williams. I went for, it's just March Madness in general, but, I was watching, okay, thinking I'm going to see, a top product in the draft. I once upon a time went and watched March Madness in person to watch Nickeil Alexander-Walker play in college. Anyways, I go and watch Cody Williams, and he was he was the 5th most impressive player on his own starting lineup. It was really weird. I'm like, this is the guy who's supposed to be, I don't know. And they beat Boise. They ended up going to the Sweet 16 that season, but Cody Williams didn't do anything in the tournament. I believe he got hurt in the game that I was watching early, but again, he did not impress me at all. Tristan De Silva was the guy that I was really impressed with, obviously now in the Orlando Magic. Eddie Lampkin is more just obviously of a college superstar who went to Syracuse last year and obviously, never went pro. But I was just like, Cody Williams, no, I don't know if he got hurt. He played 15 minutes and came off the bench and didn't score. It was really weird. And then all of a sudden the Jazz picked him with the 10th pick in the draft. I was surprised he went out 1 and 2. I was like, this guy's getting picked that high? I don't know. Had a good start of the regular season, but then just collapsed as the year went on in his 1 year in college. Anyways, in the NBA, Cody Williams hasn't done anything. And he's slowly figuring it out. But guys, we're not taking Cody Williams today because I'm so impressed by his scoring. No, it's just the amount of minutes he gets. He kind of has to score. He's on the court for 30 minutes a night now. The Jazz are kind of just throwing Cody Williams out there and saying, okay, well, you have to score. You're related to J-Dub. Your brother's an all-star. Go score. Kind of what they're doing. On top of that, Lauri Markkanen may be out tonight. Nurkic is out. Williams is going to start regardless, right? They're starting Cody Williams at the 2 right now. But there's going to be a lot of opportunity for this guy to score. And look at the minutes he's been playing recently. So last 5 games for Cody Williams, he plays 31 minutes against the Mavericks, scores 13 points. He plays 28 minutes against the Mavericks the game after, because they play back-to-back in Dallas. He scores 11 points. Game against San Antonio, 24 minutes, 5 points. But then after that, 8 points in 29 minutes against Minnesota. 12 points in 23 minutes against San Antonio in his last game. He's getting a lot of run, and eventually, yeah, if you're on the court for 25 minutes, yeah, you kind of have to score eventually. So I'm going to take Cody Williams tonight. It's not the most intriguing play. It's not a high-scoring play, but I just think it's a really easy line for a guy, again, who is not going to get many looks, but it's going to get enough looks because, well, simply put, he's just on the court. And we know the Jazz, again, are continuously trying to tank, so obviously they're not going to play their top guys. There's no official word on whether or not Markkanen is playing tonight. The official designation for Markkanen is that he is questionable tonight against the Heat due to return to competition reconditioning. The hell does that mean? He hasn't played since the Cavs game where he played 36 minutes and scored 28 points. Did I not call that, by the way? The Jazz were going to punish their players for beating Cleveland. Lauri Markkanen hasn't been allowed to play basketball after they went to Cleveland and beat the Cavaliers, and he dropped 28 points. It's the most obvious tanking ever, and nobody talks about it. It's so stupid. Anyways, they're kind of just forcing Cody Williams. All right, go out there and score. Again, Markkanen playing and Nurkic not playing, and hell, Kevin Love not playing either doesn't really affect Cody Williams because he plays the 2 for this team, and he's just on the court for 30 minutes, or 25 minutes. So eventually he's got to put up some buckets. I'm going to go Cody Williams over 6.5 points. It's just way too low of a line for a guy who plays 30 minutes and starts. So give me Cody Williams, the former number 10 overall pick in the NBA draft. And that'll do it, folks, for NBA Best Bets here on January 24th. If you haven't yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure you leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you did disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA Best Bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.